welcome to yet another edition of Let's Talk Tobago. I'm Davia Chambers and we are at Shore Park Complex, the hub for major events and for the performing arts on the island of Tobago. It's our stop for today's episode, so come along as we explore all this facility has to offer. We'll also share with you all that's been happening in Tobago in the past week. It's all coming up on Let's Talk Tobago, starting as usual with this week's headlines. Development of the island continues with a number of infrastructure projects, and a new approach is bringing savings to Tobago. We'll tell you about the island's contribution to a national draft policy geared at protecting the country's coastlines. Businesses and residents in general are being encouraged to take a more active role in the fight against money laundering. And later, we'll bring you a flavorful story, a seminar geared at teaching people from all walks of life all about herbs and spices. All these stories and more are coming up next when Let's Talk Tobago returns. So stay with us.
Yo, Tobago, what's up? This is yours truly, Positive, from beautiful Tobago, and you're locked on to Let's Talk Tobago. Boom, 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 boom. Bless.
The new Shore Park complex opened its doors to the public in February 2015. It's one of the largest facilities of its kind in this part of the Caribbean and can host up to 5,000 patrons for a range of activities, including business, culture, entertainment, and even sport. And staying with the theme of infrastructure, Tobago is continuing its development thrust through several key projects, including the restoration of Claude Noel Highway. And an emphasis on getting value for money is already bringing significant savings. Omadara Mills explains.
Up to $5 million has been saved on some of the island's large infrastructural projects. They include the Roxborough Administrative Complex, the Hanging Down Coastal Revetment in Roxborough, and the Lambo River Bridge.
The Hanging Down Coastal Revetment project in Roxborough, we would have realized a $1.2 million cost savings. The original budget was $9.83 million. The Lambo River Bridge, we realized a $3.5 million cost saving from the original budget of $18.6 million. And the Roxborough Administrative Complex, we would have gone almost $900,000 savings from the original cost of $38.28 million.
One reason for this is that the division's staff has been taking advantage of professional and technical training opportunities. Mr. Devines believes that this has led to more efficient management of the Assembly's resources.
In doing is ensuring that our engineers, our staff, are exposed to a number of different training opportunities, including project management, even as much as conflict resolution, as we look to ensure that we get the best out of our technical persons. And this has directly led to savings to date on mega projects, and I want you to take note of this, of approximately $5 million so far on some of our mega projects.
The division is also generating income. One money-making avenue is the rehabilitated Barbados Bay Jetty. Since its commissioning in February, the jetty has contributed to the export of close to 57,000 metric tons of aggregate from the Studley Park Quarry to Trinidad. It's earned the quarry roughly $5.6 million.
So we are moving towards ensuring that we can really contribute, or the quarry can realize its full potential to contribute to our economy here in Tobago and, of course, the national economy at large, because by using the material from the Studley Park Quarry, we are saying or signaling to our partners in Trinidad, the Ministry of Works and other partners, listen, you do not need to import material or aggregates from anywhere else. Tobago has it, we will deliver it, and you will get quality for your money.
The division continues to work towards more efficient operations in all of its units. This will help fulfill its mandate of quality work for all. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
After reopening its doors, the Shore Park Complex proved to be a game changer for various sectors. It's hosted theatrical productions, trade and consumer shows, exhibitions, and even concerts and a variety of other events. Now, almost 80% of the country's socio-economic activity takes place along the coast, where more than 70% of the country's population live. So those most affected by coastal erosion are contributing to a policy to manage this problem. Here's how.
A big part of battling climate change, especially for an island like Tobago, is sustainable coastal zone management. The island was well represented at its recent public consultation with the Interministerial Committee for Integrated Coastal Zone Management, ICZM. The public shared its concerns and suggestions that will be considered for the draft policy framework on the issue. This was part of nationwide public consultations involving the support from the private and public sectors.
We would have started the process back in 2012 in terms of developing an integrated coastal zone policy. Now, what is ICZM? As mentioned by Dion before, it's not a program, it's a process. It's a continuous and dynamic process that addresses the three dimensions of sustainable development: the environment, the economy, and of course, people.
The ICZM committee has held consultations with many stakeholders. They include government agencies, the media, the energy sector, the business sector, and coastal communities. Their main goal is to determine issues that should be addressed by an ICZM policy and the solutions recommended to address them.
My concern, my question relates to the monitoring from a location perspective. In other words, how do you track the movement or the changes that are caused by the effects of the erosion?
Data collection is expensive, and there's certain like oceanographic data, things like on storm surge and tides and waves and so forth, that we have not been monitoring because we just didn't have the resources. So there's the next phase, of course, is something that we're hoping to do to get the funds to actually implement something like that to fill those data gaps.
One recurring issue for residents nationwide is the need for more public education. They believe protecting our coastal environment should be a priority for everyone.
I would say that efforts are being made. And, I think that unlike, maybe 10, 15 years ago, those in the position to make decisions, they are being made aware of the challenges being faced in the coastal zone. And, it may take some time for it to become a priority, but at least we have started somewhere.
Because we need decisions. We need to think about decisions that are made today. A lot of times we focus our education programs on the schools, and that's fine. But they're not going to be in the position to make decisions until probably the next 20 years. So we need to make our decision makers today aware of the issue, because some of these things need urgent attention.
The ICZM Interministerial Committee welcomes the public's support in their policy consultations. You can still contribute by visiting their website at www.iczm.gov.tt to read the policy framework and to complete the feedback form. I'm Grande for Let's Talk Tobago.
The Shore Park complex is not just a space for hosting events. It also features administrative offices, an art display, dance studio, bar area, VIP room, and more. Now, roughly 10 minutes southwest from Shore Park Complex is the Magdalena Grande Beach and Golf Resort, the venue of the 9th Annual Anti-Money Laundering, Counter-Financing of Terrorism Conference. It's an initiative of the Financial Intelligence Unit of Trinidad and Tobago. We have highlights from the conference in this story. Listen up.
Trinidad and Tobago is creating stronger, more dynamic financial and business sectors. One major focus for the country is stopping financial crimes like money laundering and financing of terrorism. Money laundering is typically achieved using wire transfers involving foreign banks or legitimate businesses to funnel illegal funds. One means of creating awareness about these practices is the Financial Intelligence Unit's annual Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Financing of Terrorism Tobago Conference. The recent 9th installment of the conference was themed Combating Money Laundering and Terrorism Financing in Trinidad and Tobago, Where Are We Now? This country was placed on enhanced follow-up status since the publication of the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force Mutual Evaluation Report.
As a jurisdiction with strategic anti-money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism deficiencies that has provided a high-level political commitment to addressing those deficiencies. Corrective measures were taken over the past 2 years, and reports have been submitted to show our progress. As far as the Financial Action Task Force, Trinidad and Tobago demonstrated improvement from being listed with 7 strategic deficiencies in 2017 to 4 as per the February 2019 public statement.
In the fight against money laundering and terrorism financing, stronger legislature is one way to improve on the country's deficiencies.
Legislative amendments as well as new legislation, legislative amendments to the Proceeds of Crime Act, the Financial Intelligence Unit Act. You would have seen new legislation as recent as the Civil Asset Forfeiture and the Non-Profit Organization Act.
Chief Secretary Honorable Kelvin Charles was also present at the conference. He has a few suggestions to curb this illegal activity.
Consider partnering with our Financial Literacy Secretariat under the Division of Finance and the Economy to begin introducing information about money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism to our high school students and school leavers.
The Financial Intelligence Unit's detection rate of suspicious activity in the financial sector is up by 25% from last year.
The Tobago Tourism Agency has been working to change the tourism landscape in Tobago. When we return, we'll have an update on their progress right after these messages.
Keep watching Let's Talk Tobago!
The design of the Shore Park complex was dynamic, reflecting the multi-use requirements of the space. Its modular design allows for the stage to be adjusted to suit the unique needs of each event. Now, in the past 2 years, Tobago has been placing greater emphasis on expanding the tourism industry, and the body tasked with this mandate, the Tobago Tourism Agency, is making progress. It's all in this next story. Have a look.
Tourism is one of the most crucial sectors for economic development for many countries and territories. This is no less true for Tobago. Tourism helps boost our economy and creates employment for thousands of people. It's an industry that many individuals and businesses rely on heavily. So the Tobago Tourism Agency, through its CEO, Louis Lewis, recently updated the island on its progress in the tourism sector and their plans going forward. A good sign of growth in the industry is the number of people that visit the island, and Mr. Lewis says the visitor figures are encouraging.
Our successes, or what has delighted us, and I'm very happy to report, that to date we are posting an 18%, well 17.7 to be exact, percent increase in international arrivals from most of our markets. So that's the overall position. And that has not happened by magic or by preference, but it really is testimony to the fact that our strategy that we have implemented is really showing signs of success.
In order to stay relevant in this industry, the island has to ensure its tourism product is attractive. One area that the agency is looking into is
there is a tourism accommodation upgrade program which seeks to encourage the property owners to enhance the quality of the accommodation components. That has been going quite well. We have been continuously engaged with a number of providers to the extent that the allocation has been nearly fully subscribed.
The agency is also looking at quality over quantity, according to Mr. Lewis.
And we have the very interesting one, which is the product audit. And the product audit really sets the parameters, gave us a greater understanding of what do we have. And it's a 3-phase process. We have completed one, which is the one relating to the accommodation sector. And Coris, who is the Director of Product Development and Destination Management Services, has really spearheaded that initiative.
Being an attractive destination is important, but a good tourism product goes beyond that. It's also about contributing to economic growth. If the trend continues, Tobago is on its way to achieving that goal. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
The special stage design at Shore Park Complex makes the facility versatile. A feature speaker or discussion panel will find it just as accommodating as a stage production team, dance group, or music ensemble. Now, resort development is critical for the future of tourism here in Tobago. So it was the focus of a recent discussion hosted by the University of the West Indies and the Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute. We were there to bring you this story. Here's more.
Plans to develop quality resorts in Tobago are linked to the island's thrust to boost tourism. The issue has brought its fair share of questions from residents. Efforts by the Tourism, Hospitality and Sport Unit of the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus to bring clarity in this area are timely. UE collaborated with the Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute, THTI, to host a panel discussion. It was entitled Resort Development in Tobago: Power, Politics and People.
We thought that it was quite fitting to start this series with the topic on resort development in Tobago: Power, Politics and People, given the recent developments with resort development in Tobago. And so we decided that we will bring the forum to Tobago and have that discussion here. And it's an opportunity for us to engage stakeholders in Tobago on this most important issue.
Public discussions on resort development will help shape policies to improve the management of tourism infrastructure. The forum covered investment in the blue and green economy, ecosystems and the environment, and sustainable employment in resorts.
Properties are being built all over the world in environmentally sensitive places, in environmentally sensitive areas, without any effect, in fact, in a lot of cases, in enhancing the environment and the natural bird life and marine life and so around it. So I think we need to do a lot of education.
I want to agree with the comment, very valid points, and there's always a tension between the environmental impacts and economic impacts, but as you rightly said, I believe that we can't find that middle ground.
The need for an independent tourism institution is also being raised.
We need strong institutions that are independent of political interference. Until we get strong institutions, it's never going to be away from these people we hire for 5-year contracts and they think that's it.
When you speak about the institutions, right? And we stay in tourism, but I want us to understand that has happened as part now of our culture.
At the end of the discussion, a position paper was drafted reflecting the perspectives of both the panel and participants. The paper will be among the information compiled and presented to the Tobago House of Assembly. I'm Grande for Let's Talk Tobago.
If you are looking for a large venue for your next event in Tobago, Shaw Park Complex is a great option. You can even tour this facility, and the hard-working team here at the complex would be delighted to show you around. Now this, in Trinidad and Tobago, herbs and spices are a vital part of the culinary experience. In Tobago, residents are learning how they are grown and their many uses through a special seminar. We have more from Umadara Mills in this week's Eat Local segments.
A standout element of Trinidad and Tobago's culture is its mouth-watering cuisine. Herbs and spices such as shadow benny, chive, basil, rosemary, thyme and ginger are essential to achieving unique flavors. So it's no surprise that the Ginger and Herbs Production Seminar was in high demand. Participants learned about the cultivation, uses and benefits of a variety of locally grown herbs and spices.
The program today was very informative. I learned a lot about herbs, a little more than I anticipated for. And it was just overall, the instructor was very informative. He was very interactive. We got to ask questions, different stuff like that.
I learned a lot this morning from this seminar, especially the ginger production. A lot of the herbs and spice was very interested too. And it widened my knowledge in herbs and spice, it even as to the ginger. There's so much thing I learned this morning, planting the ginger, the different herbs, the teas, you name it. It was very much interested.
The seminar is one of the activities to mark the second annual Eat Local campaign. It's spearheaded by the Division of Food Production, Forestry and Fisheries. This year's theme is Celebrate Our Local Foods, Produce, Process, Promote.
I would say we want to wake up people to what they can produce locally.
to what they can produce locally. I think it was part of the Eat Local campaign. And of course, we use a lot of teas, we buy a lot of teas, and we want to show people the benefits of the teas, the benefits of the herbs, in the culinary benefits, the medicinal benefits, and other kinds of benefits. So just to invigorate people to look into it, and so that they could start their own herbal production.
Currently, the division is also facilitating the Herbs and Spice project at Goldsboro. Mr. Bruno explains what that initiative is all about.
The objective of that project really is to demonstrate the use of technology in the production of herbs and spice. We also looking at being able to provide planting material for people who want to get into fresh herb and spice production. And the improved technology that we will demonstrate, for example, is the use of ground cover, use of close spacing, the use of drip irrigation, the use of timers and solenoid valve, so that even if you're not there, your plant can still get wet.
Some of the objectives of the Eat Local campaign are to increase the consumption of local produce, to sensitize the public about the nutritional benefits of local foods, and to help improve the overall health of the island's population. Various Eat Local seminars, workshops, and competitions have been held throughout the month of May. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's time for a pause, but coming up next, Tobago's entrepreneurs participate in the BDU's Roadshow. This story after these messages. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Kivo, and tune in to Let's Talk Tobago.
Not only will you get a world-class facility when you book Shore Park Complex, you will also get expert and memorable service from the friendly staff right here. Their mission is to help you have the best event possible. And speaking of events, Tobago's entrepreneurs got an opportunity to market their products to a Trinidad audience. We have all the highlights in this next story.
Patrons at the Tobago Roadshow 2019 at Trin City Mall in Trinidad had the opportunity to try a unique taste of Tobago, like Heineken and Stag-flavored ice cream, and to choose from a range of stylish clothes, homemade wines, teas, soft furnishings, and dish detergent, all produced right here in Tobago. The Tobago Roadshow 2019 was hosted by the Division of Community Development, Enterprise Development and Labour with the theme Unveil, Discover, Invest Tobago. It created an opportunity for entrepreneurs to showcase their products in the sister isle,
emphasizing the message that Tobago is open for business. It is envisaged that these exhibitors will be able to forge sustainable business partnerships with both customers and investors, thereby increasing their business prospects. What you will see on display today is just a sample of the indigenous Tobago entrepreneurs who specialize in products and services ranging from agro-processing and textile manufacturing to multimedia products.
It is an exciting experience, especially getting feedback from the buyers, the people passing through. Everybody's just excited about it.
The hope is that the Tobago Roadshow will provide an enabling environment to further develop Tobago's private sector.
So we want to let you know that Tobago, we're not just occupying space, but we are contributing to the GDP of this country. So despite what others may say, we are here to prove.
And shoppers were happy to experience Tobago in a different way.
I decided to come down to the roadshow today to see the different products that the people and them have here. And it's a wonderful experience. You have the homemade ice cream, you have the smoke arm, you have the fish, you have all kind of different things.
Really nice for the Tobagonians to get involved. The products, real nice. I must say, I just purchased some products, one of which was the coconut, the dishwashing liquid, the laundry detergent with the coconut ingredient. I mean, everything good so far.
The Tobago House of Assembly continues to provide exposure to entrepreneurs. In fact, 4 of Tobago's businesses will participate in Expo Caribe in Cuba later this month.
That mission will be led by the Honorable Paula Gopiskun, so that there are 4 entrepreneurs from Tobago who will be making that trip. But in addition to the products of those 4 persons, they will be taking samples that have been manufactured by other persons, other entrepreneurs, and also they'll be taking brochures and pictures and so on, so that even though we have 4, a number of persons and the activities will be highlighted and will be portrayed.
The Tobago Roadshow 2019 ran from May 23rd to the 25th. I'm Kern De Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
And it's now time to have Your Say, the segment of our program where we hear from you, the viewers. Let's take a look at who had their say this week with Marlon Gottsliven.
What's the question?
It was A.
It's only spelling things. That's a quick question, nothing. That's not, hold on. I'm waiting for the money for the question now.
It's that time again. It's Have Your Say time again. And the question we're asking today is, how do you feel about welcoming Venezuelan migrants to our shores? This is what you said.
Trinidad and Tobago is about one love, one country, one heart, right? And we welcome the Venezuelans with open heart. It's good, but if not put in place certain rules and policies with respect to how we should govern them, then everything will be lost.
I don't agree with it. I think we're too small to have that. Venezuela is a large place, and I think they could expand and stay in Venezuela. They just need to find sanctuaries in Venezuela.
Yes, they need help. They could get help from across where they are.
From a humanitarian point of view, yes, we should allow them in. We should try our best to see how much we could do to help them. However, there should be stringent measures in bringing them into our country.
To tell you the truth, I don't really want them here. We don't really want them here, for real.
It is nice for Trinidad and Tobago to help people. But here what? Trinidad and Tobago has a population of, we say, 1.6 million people. We have crime rampant in Trinidad and by extension Tobago. And taking these people here, they're coming in droves. And these people and them are soldiers who are running from prosecution and criminals with them.
They just see what they did and they don't come here.
Venezuelans and Trinidad and Tobagoans is one. The carcass is right there. Okay? It's just a water to cross and love we deal with, boy.
Anybody who has the means, the ability, the funds, the accommodation to help any other human beings must do so.
It was A.
It's only spelling things. That's a quick question, nothing.
That's not, hold on.
I'm waiting for you.
This brings us to the completion of yet another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, for more information on the Shore Park Complex, you can visit their website at www.shorepark.org or contact the office at 635-1703. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and very productive week.